Si le gustaría escuchar un episodio en español, por favor escuche el siguiente episodio.
Good morning. My name is Cristina Perez, and I am part of the team of La Incubadora podcast. La Incubadora podcast is part of the Economic Growth Incubator, a local nonprofit with the mission to provide training, coaching, and support to aspiring and existing business owners who face barriers to growing a successful business. La Incubadora podcast is born out of the need to put in video and audio a lot of the success stories that we see at the Business Incubator. We also want to answer frequently asked questions and connect small business owners with the resources to succeed in business on your own time and wherever you are while you have access to a mobile device. Join us as we sit down with Felipe Reynoso, a client and dedicated volunteer of ours, to unravel the journey of ReyCast Media. Felipe shares insights into his experience with EGBI, the inception and growth of his business, and the pivotal role video and visual plays in crafting a distinctive brand identity. Discover the passion, challenges, and triumphs that have shaped Rey's entrepreneurial path, and gain valuable wisdom on harnessing the power of visual storytelling for business success. Born in central region of Mexico, in the state of Hidalgo, Felipe's artistic flair emerged early in life, finding expression in every opportunity to convey his thoughts creatively. He has previously served as a director of operations for Univision Austin, as technical director for Univision 62's daily live newscast, and as senior editor producer for all station production needs. As director of operations, Felipe oversaw a wide group of professionals in activations, production, technical directors, and radio TV talents. Today, Felipe has transferred his talents to serve as the operations officer and creative director at ReyCast Media, bringing a unique blend of artistic sensibility and operational expertise to the forefront. Felipe is poised to steer clients towards brand growth and enhancing digital presence so they not only receive a service, but also gain a dedicated partner in navigating and thriving in the digital area. And so let's welcome Felipe to the stage. Hi.
Hi, Christina. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Are you staying warm?
Pretty much, yes. It's pretty warm right now here in this room with the lights and everything. So, yes.
Nice. So, Felipe, tell us a little bit more about your story and what inspired you to start ReyCast Media.
Sure. Thank you. So, ReyCast Media started because of different circumstances that had happened around our personal lives and professional lives, my wife's and I. And so out of those changes came the idea. Before I worked at Univision, I had become an independent professional. However, something that was going to last 3 months at Univision as a temporary employee turned to 11 and a half years of employment with them. And so I always had that in the back of my mind to continue to be independent. However, I gained a lot of experience at Univision. And so, we kept going for as long as we could. And after 11 years, and again, after some structural change, and then later changes in my household, then we decided to just go for it and launch ReyCast Media as a company to serve the community here in Austin.
Awesome. And I know it's always scary to make that jump as an entrepreneur myself. Sometimes a lot of people say, just make the jump. But then sometimes you start thinking the what ifs and, oh my gosh, this like totally falls on me. So I totally understand where you're coming from there. Felipe, could you share the core mission and services that define ReyCast Media?
So the core mission is to provide and help the business owners that get to be busy on what their expertise, what they do day to day, and because of that, they tend to just leave the social media to the side. I've seen that happen. That doesn't mean that everyone goes through that, but for those employers that or may not even know how to work social media. That's where we can come in and help with creating content for them, from video, graphics, run their galas, infomercials, TV and radio spots. So that's what we're aimed to do to help those business owners here in the Austin metro area and beyond.
Awesome. And I know it's always important to have that presence in the media because of how it's grown so much, and everybody is on all different platforms of social media nowadays as well. Were there specific moments or experiences that you consider turning points in the growth and development of ReyCast Media?
Oh, there are many moments in which I would consider growing. At a professional level, I would personally say that during my tenure at Univision, that's where as a professional, I learned the most. For the TV side, the live broadcast part, I had started in radio, and that's the first love of my professional life, because radio, it's very hyper, very active, very vivid, very live. And I learned while I was working there, because I worked for a company that owns 7 stations here in Austin. So you get to learn from different professionals, their background, their how they make everything happen. But at Univision, there was another one where I learned, like you mentioned in the intro, um, to be the daily technical director for the newscast. You learn from the mistakes that you make, and I made plenty of those. Then later, I transitioned as an editor, which it's my core, the core thing that I really enjoy to do. And so I would serve the clients and work with the account executives, and you learn from those as well. And then later, as the director of operations, I got to work with differently skilled professionals, everyone with their background, everyone had something to offer. And so you take those opportunities and learn from each one of those, if you're able to, because at times you may not see the opportunities right in front of you. But I want to say that those were the core moments, particularly at Univision Austin.
And it's great to hear that, we learn from the peer around us, right? We always, and there's things that we might not understand at that moment that don't make sense, but it's always great to have that open mind to where, like, let me learn this because it might help me in the future. Can you share some hurdles you faced in building ReyCast Media and how you overcame them?
I think the main one, and this is why I've gone to EGBI so many different times, it's learning to go out there and sell our product. I think, to me, I know how to sell it. I know what to say. It's just taking that initiative and presenting myself as ReyCast, going to the different businesses, and that's where EGBI has helped us a lot, because you learn from other people, like you just mentioned as well. You learn from other people and how to cope or how to navigate different scenarios, and that's, to me, I think that's where everything lies. Of course, there's always the growing part, the making the mistakes, and then working with clients, working with different entities. But to me, that the sales part, that would be the hardest thing that I'm still working on.
Yeah. And so, like, using myself an example, I'm like, I thrive at sales. But there's other things that I like, knowing what with media and the back end of it, and I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? So we all have that little what you're good at, I might not be, and vice versa. And it's
Our
always
area
good
of opportunities.
yeah, no, it's always good to have a place like EGBI that we can go to and get that information.
Yes.
So in the competitive field of media and branding, what do you believe sets ReyCast Media apart, and how do you communicate this unique value to your clients?
I would say, and I know we may not be the only ones, but the fact that my first language, it's Spanish,
Mhm.
and so I can offer the same top quality services that we can offer anyone in the general English market in Spanish. And so anything that you create, from concept to the actual posting or broadcasting, it could be done both in English and Spanish. And I think that's one key that sets us apart. Again, I know that there are a lot of businesses that do that, but you get that detail to attention, working with the client, shoulder to shoulder, and then also with this new social media world, we offer the broadcast. We can create your TV commercial, but we also can create your social media post, and then help you with the back end of posting it, scheduling it, finding the keywords and everything. So I want to say that that's one of the things that we can be different from other companies.
Yeah, and it's important, like you said, to put that attention to detail. And it's just like you treat your client like that's the only client, right? You give them all your full attention. And I've noticed and realized that for a client is very important, right? So looking ahead, what are your aspirations and goals for ReyCast Media? Are there new projects or directions you're excited to explore in the future?
So looking ahead, to be consistent, I think that would make us strong, to have that consistency with the clients, to continue to serve the community. Me particularly, and this is why I worked so many years in the Spanish side of media, it's to serve my community in any way we can, and I was able to do it while working at something that I really enjoy. And so, eventually, obviously, grow, expand, and then hopefully hire people and give them the opportunity as professionals to grow. That would be, I think, in the future, something that we look into. And of course, be financially stable, being able to have Raycast as our main source of income.
Awesome. Those are great goals to have. I know some that you mentioned, I'm like, yep, I'm there right there with you. Um, as a client turned volunteer with the Economic Growth Business Incubator, how did EGBI contribute to the development and success of ReyCast Media?
I can tell you that we couldn't have done everything that we've done to set up the structure of the business without EGBI and the experts. And I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it for as long as I believe it's true. You'll get to learn what you don't know, and that's the thing with that is that you don't know what you don't know, and there are a lot of things as a business owner that you just simply don't know, and that's because whether you started as a hobby or something that you're really good at, it doesn't mean that you're good at the finance part, at the dealing with the IRS or everything else that comes along with owning a business. And so that's where EGBI comes in, and that's where they helped us tremendously. And yeah, that's the one thing that I can say about EGBI. It's just all the resources that they offer to you, the business owner, in English and Spanish.
Yeah, and someone that comes from that background as well. I remember at first I was like, I know it all, I've Googled stuff. And it was like when I know I worked with Barbara and Al, and there was like, wait, have you done this? And have you done that? And I'm like, wait, I needed to do that. So like you say, well, you don't know. And it's good to have that a place where you can get all that resource instead of having like 5 different locations and talking to 5 different people. The good thing is that you get all that in one, and then they love what they do, so they're like super cool about it and
Yes.
super sweet. I was like calling Barbara or emailing her like late at night, and she was responding. So that's awesome. So you've transitioned from being a client to volunteering with EGBI. How has this experience influenced your perspective on mentorship?
Well, I think again, you want to give back to the community, but also after everything and we started back in November, so we haven't, been barely half a year into it. There are a lot of things that EGBI helped us with, and so we just feel that we want to give back to EGBI and to the businesses that they're going to help in the future. And so yeah, if I become a mentor, then that would be an honor. But at least for now, I want to be able to give back to the community, give back to EGBI.
Yeah, we've always, as I believe the majority of us as humans, right? We have this thing to where like, man, I wish I knew that at that moment. And I wish I had somebody there to help me. And then so once we get that, like we get this with EGBI and all the wonderful people that are there. And then it's like we
Yes.
have this need, and it's in our nature to want to give back because of appreciation, because of being thankful that we do have that available to us. So that is
Yes.
always awesome and rewarding. Now, what would you like people who listen to us to take away today?
First of all, if you're thinking of opening a business, go to EGBI. They have different workshops for different levels of where you're at, or even as a refresher. There are things that are evolving all the time. The laws for finances, how social media is evolving. So, just going there, if you're already into your business entrepreneurship, then, it's always good to go back. And then the other thing is that, giving back to the community, that's one of the things that we want to be able to do. And again, well, for this one, I'm just only going to emphasize on finding the resources and going to EGBI.
Awesome. Okay. So how can we find you?
We're all over the main social media platforms at ReyCast Media, REY. I know that some people may spell it with RAY, ReyCast Media or reycastmedia.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, friends, that's all for today. Thank you so much for your time, Felipe. It
Thank you.
has been a pleasure chatting with Felipe Reynoso today, and we hope that you find this episode useful to you. If you know someone who could benefit from listening to this episode, please share the link to this episode with them. And remember that La Incubadora podcast is part of the Economic Growth Business Incubator, a business incubator in Central Texas that offers training, coaching, and support to small business owners with barriers to achieving success. If you'd like to learn more about Economic Growth Business Incubator services, please visit egbi.org and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.